Alrighty, so I'm going to present my screen. We have only a 3-question warm-up today, not 5, so just 3. Make sure you have some pen and paper handy so that you can write and do your work. Awesome. And here are your 3 questions. So number 1, find the prime factorization of 90. Number 2, solve using the distributive property. And then number 3, what's the least common multiple of 15 and 9? I'm going to put on some music, and I will give you guys until 10:40. We'll still do those 7 minutes that we normally do.
I don't get what does factorization mean? Find all the factors?
So when you make your tree, and you end up with all the prime numbers at the bottom, you know how all you're going to do is write that out as a multiplication sentence, and that's a prime factorization.
Okay.
So write it out like you're going to multiply it all together. So if anything, for number 1, at least do your factor tree, and we can finish it up together, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty, here's a little bit of music. There you go.
So find numbers that can go into it?
Yeah, so create your factor tree like you're going to find your GCF or LCM, and we'll go from there if you're confused.
When we did that, do we have to multiply it?
Yeah, your end answer will be a multiplication problem.
Okay.
Charlie, I don't want the answers. We'll go over them.
Okay.
understand. What is this song?
It's called Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson.
I heard this one the other day.
Yeah. We're going to play this
Michael
song.
Jackson?
We'll finish this song and then we'll go over the warm up. So,
Died like 20 years ago.
no, he did not.
When did he die? In 1999?
That's 20 years ago. Focus on your stuff, please. And then we can figure it out later, but not right now.
1929?
Look it up. Look it up.
Alrighty then. There's our musical warm up for the day. All right, let's go ahead and go over these. So, the unpresent so that it's not backwards. Can you guys see all of the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on the board?
No. We can only see 2 and 3.
2 and 3, what if I...
Wait, now I can. I was on the chat thing.
Okay, can we see it?
I
on
can
there?
stand to.
Okay, cool. Then let's go over these. Number 1 said, what is the prime factorization of 90? So, to do that, we need to make a factor tree for the number 90. So, what numbers multiply into 90?
10 and 9.
10 times 9. Good. Are either of them prime? Can I circle them?
You can circle.
You cannot circle either of them.
Okay, I heard 2 answers there. 10 we cannot circle. Things multiply into 10. But I heard some of you guys say we can circle 9. Why can I not circle 9?
Because 3 can go into it.
Good.
3 times
We
3.
have
Yeah, I forgot that.
3 times 3 still goes into 9. What about the 3s? Can I circle those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Now what multiplies into 10?
5 and 2.
2 and 5.
2 and 5. I know I can circle the 2. What about the 5?
You
Yeah.
can circle it.
We can circle it. So now we have our factor tree. In order to make the prime factorization, all you
Multiply
need to do is multiply. 2
Multiplication
times
sign.
5 times 3 times 3. This is your answer.
Multiply, you'll just go back to 90.
I know, you don't actually multiply it out. Your answer is the multiplication problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, does that make sense? Because you've taken out all the prime factors, and now you're going to multiply. You don't have to yet, but all the prime factors being multiplied together is your prime factorization. Okay. I don't have it pulled up. Number 2 says, solve using a distributive property, 12 times 10 plus 8. So we have 12 times 10 plus 8. Now, when we do the distributive property, we're going to take the one on the outside, and what do I do with the 12?
Multiply it to 10.
Multiply it to 10? Just the 10?
No,
And the 8.
Good. And the 8.
you
So,
can't leave the cool 8 out.
120.
It's super cool. So, what's 12
12 times
10?
10 is 120.
120.
Good. What do I do with the addition symbol?
You
Bring
bring
it down.
and then 12 times 8 is 96.
Good. 12 times 8 is 96. What happens when you add them together? What do you get?
You get
You
200.
get 100. No, wait. 216.
Good. 216 is your final answer here. Good. And what's our last problem? Sorry, I have to keep going back and forth. I don't know.
That's 15 and 9 and find the LCM of 15 and
45.
I don't want the
21.
LCM of 15 and 9. So we need to do our prime factorizations. What numbers multiply into 15?
3 and 5, and that's it.
Good. They're both prime. What about 9? What numbers multiply to 9?
3 and 3.
3 and 3.
3 and 3. Good. Now we need to do our LCM and GCF. I'm going to list 15 on the top, 3 and 5. Now we got to do our matchy-matchy. Can I match the 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. What about the second 3?
No.
Nope. So where do I put it?
On the top of the LCM.
On the top row. Now what do I do with all these numbers?
Multiply.
Multiply.
We will get 45.
Yep. So our LCM is 45. How did you guys do overall? Pretty good, bad?
Good.
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 No, 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 no.
1
We got all of them right.
and 1 and 3 and half of 2.
Good. Our
Much.
When we're doing them to remember it for a little bit later in the week on Friday Fives and stuff. Or tests. Is it helpful for you? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Charlie, you realize I can see you, right? Please stop. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, yesterday we talked about dividing fractions. We talked about how to simplify them after you get your answer, how to divide them. What are the letters you need to do when you divide fractions?
Letters?
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Close. You're out, yeah. What order do they go in? Not KFC, but
KCF. I meant to do it
KCF.
that way the first time.
change, flip. So you keep the first fraction the same, change the division to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction upside down.
I thought
so that-
instead of numbers, put letters.
Huh?
I think instead of numbers, put letters like.
No, I just mean like what's the process? Keep, change, flip. So we're going to use that same process today, but we're going to talk about how to apply that to a mixed number. Charlie, please stop. Thank you. Before we do that, let's talk about mixed numbers in general and how to work with them. So I'm going to erase this. Okay, so let's say I have the number 3 and 5/6. Let's say I have this number, and I want to change it to an improper fraction. So I want to make it so where it's like 28/4, where there's a bigger number on top than on the bottom. How do I change this fraction to look like that correctly? Anybody remember that?
Could
We
you
didn't talk
like
about it
is there a way
yesterday.
you can
last
multiply
year.
the 315 times like that wouldn't work either.
You're on the right track. We do need to multiply first.
Do you multiply 15 and you add 3 and 6?
You're on the right track. You just have it flipped. You're going to take the big number 3, multiply it by the denominator. So you do 3, your whole number, times the denominator, and then you add the numerator. So what's 3 times 6?
18.
And then if we add 5 to 18,
That would be 23.
23. So the 23 goes on top because you've done all this work. Now what goes on the bottom?
And then the 6 goes on the bottom.
Good, the 6 just stays the same on the bottom.
What about the 3? Does the 3 stay the same, or or did we
No.
already use it?
We used it. The 3 multiplied in to the 6, and that's how we got to 23. We need this number to be bigger than the top, bottom.
Then how do you change it back to that?
Let's talk about that. So this is our mixed number, right?
Yeah.
And we changed it to an improper fraction. Okay, so multiply, add. Now let's just do it the opposite way. We'll use the same ones, right? Let's use 23 over 6, and we'll change it back, and I'll show you how it works the opposite way. When I see a fraction bar, what does that mean I need to do? Has anybody talked to you guys about this, what a fraction bar really means?
It means like it separates the smaller number from the bigger number.
Kind of. It means one of the operations. So if I have a fraction bar between two numbers, am I going to add the numbers, subtract, multiply, or divide? Usually
Divide.
divide. This fraction bar really means you're dividing the numbers. So you're going to take your top number, 23, and divide it by 6. So let's do that really quick. 23 divided by 6. We kind of did this a little bit yesterday.
Mhm.
How many times does 6 go into 23?
3, because it can't go into 20.
Good. So it goes in 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18, so we're going to subtract. What's 23 minus 18?
5.
5. Okay. So now we've done this work. We divided. 3 is our whole number.
Yep.
It's the amount of times it goes in. 5 is the remainder. So is it going to go on the top of my fraction or the bottom?
The bottom. Wait, no, the top.
The top, because it's the remainder. What I divided by goes on the bottom.
And then that's how you.
Yep. You see how that's the same thing? We're going from our mixed number to our improper fraction. And then if we need to change our improper fraction to a mixed number, it's the same all the way across. Okay? We're going to need to use this multiple times. Elijah, we're just talking about mixed numbers and improper fractions and how to go back and forth. So let's do it one more time. I'm just going to make up one. We'll do it again.
Do 4 over. Wait, let's do one where it's like 4 over 1/2.
Like 4 and 1/2?
Yeah.
Okay, let me write that better. So let's start with 4 and 1/2. How do I change this mixed number to the improper fraction?
You multiply the bottom and then you add the top.
Good. So we need to multiply the whole number by the denominator. 4 times 2 is?
8
And then we need to add the numerator.
plus 1 is 9.
Okay, that goes on top. And then our denominator just transfers over to the bottom.
Yep.
Okay.
Now
So
you
now,
divide.
let's go in the opposite direction. We know that our improper fraction is 9/2, 9 over 2. How do I get it to become a mixed number? What do I need to do?
You have to divide 9 and 2.
Good. Take the top, divide it by the bottom. How many times does 9 go into, sorry, how many times does 2 go into 9?
4.
4 times. What do I put on the bottom?
You put an 8.
And then 9 minus 8 is
1.
1. So our whole number, the
Is
amount of
4.
times it goes in evenly is 4. So it's our whole number, our big number. The remainder goes
Is
on
1.
the top or the bottom of my fraction.
Which is 1.
The
I
top.
Never mind.
No, you're on the right track. And then our denominator
2.
is the 2. So we go from the mixed number to the improper fraction by multiplying and then adding the top. Then we take our improper fraction and we divide and use our answers and our remainder to become our mixed number. we're going to use this process, going from a mixed to an improper, quite a few times today, because we're going to talk about mixed numbers and how to divide them. So we're going to do this part first, and then when we get to finding answers, this is where the second part comes in. Because usually our answer ends up as an improper fraction, and we have to go through the process of making it a mixed number to find our true answer. So we're going to use all of this today. Are you guys ready for that?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to pull up a little bit of notes and show you guys some steps.
Some pretty cool videos, pictures.
We don't have a video. Not today. Let's look
Oh.
at Tuesdays.
Oh, I knew it couldn't be a picture. Oh.
Alrighty, can you guys see this?
Schoology, right?
Huh?
Are these going to be on Schoology?
Yes. This is already on Schoology if you need it. It's under Monday's folder, or sorry, Tuesday's folder and today's folder. I put it under both because we were supposed to do it yesterday, but we didn't get around to it, which is fine. So let's just kind of go through this real quick. We already talked a little bit about some of it, but we're going to re-talk about it because why not? The definition of a mixed number is a mixed number is a way of representing a fraction in which the numerator is greater than the denominator. So we're taking, this is basically our mixed number. We have a whole number with a fraction attached to it. We know what a mixed number looks like, right? We're good? Then we just talked about how to take our mixed number, 3 2/5, and change it to an improper fraction. We take the whole number 3, multiply it by the 5, and add 2. So those are the steps that are happening here. 3 times 5 is 15. We take 15 and we add 2 to get 17. That 17 becomes our numerator, and our denominator is going to stay the same with 5. Exactly what we just talked about. Then the next page talks about how to divide two mixed numbers. Basically, step number 1, you need to take both mixed numbers that you have. So this one is 6 2/5 divided by 4 3/7. You need to change both of them to improper fractions first. You cannot divide in the mixed number form. You have to change them to improper fractions or else it does not work. So you have to do the process of 6 times 5 plus 2, make that improper, and then 4 times 7 plus 3 and make that one improper. So it does it here for you on the bottom. So they took 6 2/5 and made it an improper fraction over here with 32/5. And then they took 4 3/7, used the process to change it to an improper fraction, and they got 31/7. So they took both fractions, both mixed numbers, and made them improper fractions. Does that make sense? Step number 1, you have to do that. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay. Step number 2 is to do your keep change flip. So you have your new division problem right here of 32/5 divided by 31/7. It's the same thing as saying 6 2/5 divided by 4 3/7. You've just changed them to improper numbers instead. So you have this division problem, and exactly what we talked about yesterday of keep change flip is what you'll do as your second step. So you have 32/5 divided by 31/7. 32/5 you keep the same. The division changes to multiplication, and then your 31/7 flips to 7/31. And now that you have this multiplication problem, you just multiply straight across. You're going to get some kind of big numbers, but that's okay. So you do your multiplication, and you end up with 224/155. This is an improper fraction. They actually don't finish it for us, really. What's the last step we'd have to do with this answer? Any ideas? It's an improper fraction.
You have to divide.
Make it proper.
Yeah, so this is an improper fraction. We need to change it to a mixed number for our final answer. So we have to go through the dividing process to get it to a mixed number. This would be like 1 and 20, no, 31 over 155, I think. I don't know. I'd have to like actually do it. I don't know it off the top of my head. But let's do 2 or 3 practice problems with that and see how far we get. And if we need to do more practice, that's fine. We can always push what we're doing today till tomorrow if we need to.
So do that one.
We're not going to do this one. We're going to do a couple different ones. These are kind of some bigger ones that these are bigger mixed numbers. We'll use some smaller ones to start and maybe get bigger as we go. Okay? So these notes are on Schoology if you need them, if you want to pull them up right now to have next to you while we're working on it. Totally fine. I'm going to go back to the Meet so that I can write on the board correctly. And let's do a couple problems. All right, so let's start out with, let's do 2.5 divided by 1 and 1/3. Okay, so we have 2 mixed numbers here. What's step 1? What do I need to do first to those 2 mixed numbers?
Keep it the same.
Not yet. We need to do something to these numbers first. These are mixed numbers. I can't divide mixed
Make
numbers.
it improper.
Yeah, we need to make them improper first. So make improper fractions. So we need to first change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. So we
Eddie,
need to.
Can I
How do
tell
we-
you? Can I tell you?
the answer? No, we want to go in the process, not with. We don't want to jump ahead.
No, can I tell you the answer to like the improper 1, 2?
Why don't you tell us how you got it first?
Well, usually like, you know how like sometimes we do 100s, and then like if we get 100, we put it in by the side. This is 1/2, so instead of putting 100 on the top, you add 2 for each whole number. So you get 5, 2. 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it. So he is right. It is 5/2. What's the other way to do this? Because sometimes we get much bigger numbers and it's harder to do it that way. What else can we do? What did we just work on? How do I change this number to an improper fraction? I know you guys are there. There's like 15 of you on this call. I'm aware that you're sitting behind it. Huh?
I don't know any other way.
Okay. Well, in order, I just
Would you
taught it, so there
multiply?
was that too. We need to multiply first. Take your whole number, the big 2, multiply it by your denominator. Then you need to add the top. So what's 2 times 2?
4,
4 plus 1 is
5.
5. And then our denominator stays the same. So there's our new improper fraction. Then we need to divide. We need to change this one to an improper fraction. We need to take our 1 and multiply it by the 3. What's 1 times 3?
3,
Plus 1,
4.
4. Goes on top, and then 3 stays on the bottom. So now we have 2 improper fractions, which is exactly what we need to divide. So what's step 2? What do I have to do next? How do I divide these 2 fractions?
By doing them one at a time.
Kind of. What's the
Change, flip.
yeah, the letters we need to use. The KCF. We need to keep the first one, change the middle, flip the next one. So we're going to do our KCF.
What do
So I keep this first fraction the same, it's gonna stay as 5 halves. What do I change my division to?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. And what do I flip 4/3 to be?
3/4.
3/4. And now that we're at this step, we just need to multiply straight across. What's 5 times 3?
15.
Good. And then what's 2 times 4?
8.
8. So now we have an improper fraction. We're not done yet. We need to change this to a mixed number. How do I change this to a mixed number?
Division.
Divide it.
Division.
Divide the 15.
We take the 15 and we divide it by 8. How many times does 8 go into 15?
1.
1 time. And we subtract 8. What's 15 minus 8?
7.
7. So now our 1, our whole number, is our big number. And then our remainder is our numerator. What we divided by is our denominator. And there's our answer, our final answer.
We can call the KCF something else besides that. We could call it the FCK because we could change it around, but it would still be the same answer.
It would not be the same answer if you flipped the first fraction.
It wouldn't be. It'd be way different.
Yeah, it would change your answer. You need to make sure you go in KCF. It has to go in that order.
I don't get it.
You
Because-
can't flip the order that you change. That you can't flip the other fraction. You have to flip the second fraction.
Because
you cannot flip the first one.
because the bigger number has to divide into the bigger one has to be able to divide into the other smaller one.
Kind of. Now that
But
we're working with
turn it
fractions,
into
that's not always the case.
multiplication.
But what, Charlie?
But you turn it into multiplication.
I know you do, but you have to flip the second one. It's just the way that it works. You cannot flip the first one.
Corn.
Okay. Let's do one more practice. Okay. Let's do. Take
66.
3 2/3 divided by 2 1/4. That sounds good. We just made that up, so we'll see how it turns out. First step we need to do is what?
Make improper fractions.
We need to change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. How do I do that?
You by multiply the bottom but add the top.
Yeah, we need to take our whole number 3, multiply it by the denominator, and then add the numerator. So what's 3 times 3
9.
plus 2?
11.
11. That's your new numerator. What about the denominator? What is that?
Stays the same.
Stays a 3. Our division stays the same. Now we need to take our 2, multiply it by 4. What's 2 times 4?
8.
8.
Plus 1?
9.
9. And then our denominator stays 4. So now we have our improper fractions. What do I need to do to them?
KCF.
KCF. Keep, change, flip. That's how we divide these. Keep our first one the same. Change the division, flip our second fraction. In that order. So if I keep 11/3, it's going to stay the same. 11/3. What do I change my division to?
Multiplication.
Good. And then what do I flip 9/4 to?
4/9.
4/9. Okay. Now we just multiply. Straight across. What's 11 times 4?
44.
44. What's 3 times 9?
27.
27. Okay. Am I done?
No, we gotta divide it.
Well, we're not done yet. This is an improper fraction. We need to divide to make it a mixed number. So we take our 44 divided by 27. How many times does 27 go to 44?
1.
Just one time. What do you get when you subtract? There you go. Did it for you. 17.
So it'd be 17. Wait, it'd be 1 and 1721.
This is a 7, sorry. But yeah. So yeah, your 1 is your whole number of your mixed number, the big number, your whole number. The 17 is your numerator, it's what's left over. What you divided by 27 is your denominator. And there's your final answer, 1 and 17 27.
My computer might die, so if it dies on that might not be
That's all right. We don't have an assignment today if it does die. We're just practicing.
Okay,
All right.
so 15 minutes left.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do one more problem and then call it a day and then work on the other stuff tomorrow. So,
And then we'll go watch the Mesopotamia video, whatever it's however you say it.
Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that, kind of.
Okay, let's do one more problem. Let's do a kind of bigger one. Let's do 5 and 2 fifths divided by 3 and 1/4. That sounds good to me. It's kind of a bigger number, right? But it'll work. What's the first step we need to do?
Make it a improper fraction.
We need to make these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we need to take our 5, multiply it by the denominator, which is also 5, and add our numerator. So what's 5 times 5?
25.
Plus 2?
27.
27. What is my denominator?
The same as 5.
The same 5. It just drops right down. We're going to divide. Now we need to multiply and add again. What's 3 times 4?
12.
Plus 1?
13.
13. And we know that our 4 stays the same in our denominator. What's our next step? What do I have to do next?
KFC and KCF.
KCF. Sorry, we don't have to go with chicken.
KFC.
Although they have really good mashed potatoes. I will say that. Now, we need to do our KCF, which is our keep, change, flip. So if I need to keep my 27 fifths the same, 27 over 5. What do I change division to?
Multiplication.
We change the division to multiplication. What do I flip 13 fourths to?
4 13.
413.
4/13. And then we need to multiply straight across. So take a second to do that. Do the multiplication. I'm going to do it as well because I don't know it off the top of my head. Oh, don't look at my answers.
Is it 108?
Yep, the top one is 108. Good. 4
And
times
I got
27.
And the bottom one is 45.
I didn't get 45.
Wait, wouldn't it be the same though as 15 times 3?
No, it's not actually.
It's 65, actually.
It's 65.
Oh.
I get what you mean though. But when you look at it, but I did it really small over here. 13 times 5, you get your 15, carry your 1,
Yeah.
5 times 1 plus 1 is 6. Okay, so we have 108 over 65. Am I done?
No, you
No.
gotta divide it.
We need to divide still 108 divided by 65. How many times does 65 go into 108?
One time.
Just one time. And then we can subtract. You get 43. So without me doing it this time, what would be my new answer when I change this from improper to a mixed number?
1 over 65, 43.
So you're on the right track, yeah. So you have your 1. And then I think you just got these two mixed up.
43 over 65.
Yep. Your 43 is on top, 65 is on the bottom. And then we could try and figure out if we can simplify 43 over 65, but 43 is a prime number, so it's not going to be able to be divided by anything. So this is actually the simplest form it can go. So there's our answer. So Yeah, we're gonna work on a few more of these tomorrow.
Okay.
Miss Jones.
Yep,
It's practically like this is a warm up too. Cause
a
like
little bit. I mean, if you
warm
guys
up
were in class,
practice.
yeah, if you guys were in class, I don't know if you guys know this. Here, I can show you. My desks are whiteboards. So a lot of times in class, we just do problems like this on our whiteboards. So everybody's doing the problem and I can see what you guys are doing. But that's a little hard to do on this. But,
Cool.
Yeah.
When can we see what the classroom looks like?
oh, do you want to see what the classroom looks like?
Yeah.
I remember having whiteboard desks in Miss Jordan's class.
Mr. Jordan doesn't, oh, Miss Jordan.
Yeah. I had
I
no
mean,
secret last
Stacy's
year.
class.
Okay,
I
sure.
haven't-
I'll do a class tour. Here's a little bit of it.
I meant to say Miss Stacy's class.
Yeah, Mrs. Stacy has them too, because she liked them in my room. Okay, we're in the front door right now. That's the classroom. We have these things on the side. That,
Dang, that's big.
yeah, they're
I
kind of big.
remember
Yeah, it looks
Stacy's class because I was your neighbor.
Yeah. So you got this, and then I have some stuff on the back. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but we'll put some things on the back over here when you guys actually get in class. I have a pretty big library of books in the back.
That was in Mr. Jordan's class last year. Like that, there was like a library shelf kind of.
Yeah, these are all books that I've collected since I was a child. So I care a lot about my books. We'll talk about that when we get in class.
Where are our names? Tags.
From the back, so now I'm standing in the back of the classroom. I have a TV that I project like PowerPoints and stuff on. I don't have a smart board, I have a smart TV. And we have the whiteboard over there, another whiteboard on this side. I think it's backwards to where I'm pointing, but that's all right. We got some math stuff on the wall, maps, things like that. And then it's kind of messy over here. I haven't cleaned it in a while, but this is just like where the drinking fountain and stuff is. Some of your guys' stuff from last year in 5th grade, I had from your teacher, some of it. You guys all get water bottles when you come.
Yay.
That's my desk. Yeah, we don't have any like of the like protection stuff put up yet for COVID, but we'll get there. That's the next steps.
What are our name tags?
My class
Okay.
last year was a little complicated towards the end of the year before COVID.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
don't
got-
have
Okay.
name tags for you guys yet. Honestly, you guys aren't here yet, so I haven't made a lot of things that I would normally make for you.
I'm not
talking about Miss